Welcome back to our 121 Ranch. It has been an eventful few days. Earlier this year, actually in the fall of 2022, so last year now, we signed a grazing lease with a young farmer slash rancher in the area that practices what's called regenerative agriculture or regenerative ranching. And the idea behind regenerative ranching is to utilize both your animals and your crops to actually enrich the land and to regenerate the land that has been abused for decades due to chemical herbicides, insecticides, pesticides, and fertilizer. And the idea is to bring in livestock, intensely graze the grasslands for a very short period of time, and then let the land rest for a number of months. And so we liked this rancher's philosophy, and so we signed a grazing lease. We have been anticipating the arrival of cattle for 3 months now, and this week the cattle arrived. And so what we're going to show you today is a little bit of the prep work that the rancher had to complete in order to get ready for the cattle to come in. He puts in temporary fencing. His cattle are well trained to stay within an electric wire, and they don't test the fencing typically, as you'll see. And so he brings in temporary fence. He brings in temporary water and mineral containers, and these cattle are bred to be very, very hardy. They don't need shelter in the winter, and they do a great job of foraging on grasses that are underneath the snow. Having said that, we have so much snow here that he will be bringing in hay to supplement what they can get underneath the snow. And so I hope you enjoy these video clips. They are clips from the prep work that the rancher did, as well as the arrival of the cattle, and then finally the cattle settling down and adjusting to their new home and really becoming at ease on the ranch.
So these are the posts that he has in place, and they are really interesting because the ground is frozen. They're about 3 foot tall, and all he does, you can see, is, let me pull one up, it's just a small wire, small piece of metal, and all he does is come along, put the post where he wants it, and he steps down and puts the post in place like so, and then he'll run probably 2 strands of electric wire. You can see he's got the post set all along the fields. And so in a few weeks, we'll have about 120 head of cattle into probably at least 6 or 8 small pens. And he will move the cattle from pen to pen, probably daily or every other day. So it's going to be interesting and fun to watch and learn. And we'll see how it goes. If it goes well, we are thinking that come spring, we may initiate some regenerative agriculture of our own on this property. So today is the day that the cows come and the cattle come. We're gonna have 2 semi-loads here in probably about 2.5 hours. And you can see the rancher has run one hot wire, and that's it. That's the only thing that's going to hold these cattle in place. We'll see. It's kind of snowy, and it's about 35 degrees, so again the snow's real heavy and it's not real pleasant. We've also got relatives that are going to move into the manager's cottage. So this is what it looks like. He's got hose and tanks to water the cattle that are right here. He's also got some of his hot wire, just some various pieces of equipment that he's going to need. So the cattle aren't here, but we're getting ready for them. And so farmer brought in a portable chute that will unload the cattle onto. So here are the cattle arriving. Maybe. Looks like they're going to struggle to get in the gates, so be interesting to see what we do. So the trucks tried coming in from the east and they couldn't make the turn into the driveway without taking out the mailbox, so they had to go on up to the west, turn around, and they should be able to make the turn in from the west. At least that's the hope. There they go. So the driver got stuck and looks like he ran over my irrigation, but we'll worry about that after the snow melts. So we're just going to unload them here, and we're going to run a hot wire to just shoo them in.
Not there. That didn't put on at all.
At least to get those cattle, we could hook this up to my truck. I could follow them out. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yep.
we'd at least.
So first load, both loads arrived around 4:15. It's now almost 7:30, and we've gotten just one of the loads unloaded. The driver of the first truck got stuck, and he is really stuck, and it is really icy. And so we've tried just about everything. We've got my big tractor out that I didn't even know if it would start, but fortunately it did, but it's still not doing the job. So I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do. They may have to get a semi-wrecker in here. It's cold. It feels like it's probably in the low 20s now, and the drive is just a sheet of ice because it got warm today, up almost to 40. Snow melted, then it froze, and now we've been running heavy machinery over it, just polishing the ice. So a few minutes ago, the cattle were at the far end of the far corner of the ranch, and then all of a sudden they started migrating up toward the hay, and you can see them there coming towards me. And just behind that snowbank is a pile of hay for them to eat and their water. So I'll walk around and give you a little bit more of a sense of what I'm talking about. There's their hay pile and their 2 water tanks. And believe it or not, this one single electrified wire is all that it's taking to keep them in place.
So here they come. Looks like it's maybe time for a midday snack. And so the tub right there actually is not a water tub. That contains minerals to supplement the hay and to provide them with the necessary minerals that they need that aren't readily available. And then we have a water tank here for them. As well as the remnants of 2 large bales of hay. So the cattle on their way to the feed, which is over there, have decided they're going to walk across and jump over my irrigation system, which will ruin the sections of the irrigation. So the rancher is pulling apart my irrigation and putting it into 2 separate sections, and he'll have to wire those 2 pieces of irrigation piping together so that the system doesn't blow all over this winter. And so that's the update. It's snowing like crazy here. It wasn't supposed to snow today at all, but we got about 6 inches of snow.